Rest in peace, Timewalk Games. You were one of the best publishers out there. Since I started getting their games in late 2012, I have enjoyed everything about them. Everything from the old retro style packaging to the colored cartridges that were either painted over or whatnot. The cool manuals that you would get just like back in the NES days, and even nice little maps and stuff. And they did a lot of cool stuff. And they were the leader, in my opinion, of the reproduction hack and homebrew community when it comes to marketing and sales and pretty much just getting their product out there. And they're the only ones that I know of that do the whole boxed NES, Super NES, completely original. Well, they still use donor cards, but pretty much an original looking game that you get with it. Like, you take it out of the box and it's as if something that Nintendo would have approved themselves, though obviously they didn't in this case. So, throughout my adventures with getting their games, I have gotten 5 games from them. Zelda Outlands, Mario Adventure, Super Mario World, Return to Dinosaur Island, Super Mario 2J, and Extra Mario Brothers. Now, if you couldn't tell, I really like Mario, and a little bit of Zelda. And that kind of brings me to why I think they closed their doors. They didn't give any kind of notice or anything like that they were shutting down. It was simply, you got onto their site one day, and you just noticed, hey, we're not taking orders anymore. With this message, they're saying that they're not continuing the company, which they called a project. And that's just really depressing, because really I could argue that the homebrew community wouldn't be as prevalent as it is without them. They really contributed a lot to that by simply putting out the best product one really could. And I'm not saying other reproduction sites are bad or anything like that, because I shop around. If there's a game that I don't want to get, like, complete in box, or where I could deal with just paying the cheaper, maybe $20-$30 for just the repro card itself, that's cool. But Timewalk was more the collector's site. The people who wanted the game and the experience of getting an older game just like it would have been back in the 80s and early 90s. And that's the kind of that's the thing that we've lost here, is we've lost the one company that tries to give you that retro feel with your purchase. Like, they had that going for them, but and now they're gone. So I think they might have gotten a cease and desist either from Nintendo, or more likely even Squaresoft. Um, they've been really putting out this their Chrono Trigger Crimson Echoes, which of course Square might raise an eyebrow to that, and of course they had that Final Fantasy deal going there where you got either retranslations or reproduction cartridges of Final Fantasy games. And yeah, that's definitely something that's not necessarily legal, but at the same time as Square releasing those games in physical form anymore to make it so you can get them for your NES or Super Nintendo. I don't even think we have a way in America of playing the original Final Fantasies 2 and 3. It's depressing. And yeah, it's... Well, let me put it this way. If your choices were to either emulate it or play it on a reproduction cartridge, I would choose the reproduction cartridge. But when it comes down to it, if it's a game that I really want to play, even I will embrace the big E. I mean, it's... For Nintendo or for Squaresoft to issue a cease and desist, it's really not going to help them. Because either way, you can still emulate it, and there are other sites that, well, though they don't do the whole box deal thing, they still offer all of these reproduction games. Not to mention all the yahoos like on YouTube and shit that just do it for a hobby. It really wouldn't solve anything. But next thing I think about when I think of Timewalk's closure is the future of the games that they've already made, and how they're going to fit in with an NES collector and what a true collector considers part of like all the released games on the list. So currently, your games, let's take NES for example. You may know that it's pretty much filtered between games that were licensed by Nintendo and games that were not licensed by Nintendo. The Timewalk games are so well branded, and well, let's just say that you would know a Timewalk cart from apart from a different reproduction company because they put their logo on their shit. It's well branded, and collectors could very well end up embracing these boxed reproduction games as if they were something produced by like Tengen or a Wisdom Tree or Color Dreams, American Video Entertainment, all those unlicensed publishers. Granted, those unlicensed publishers put out absolute shit, while as Timewalk put out excellent quality games and work, but I still think that these will, just because of how much demand there was for them initially, not only that, Timewalk themselves would have 2 to 3 month delays on when you'd even be getting your games because of how many orders they were getting and able to complete. Granted, from what I always heard, it sounded like they could hire a person or two, but I don't really know the the logistics of getting all this shit. I don't know the cost of doing it. So I really wouldn't know if they would have been able to afford all that stuff. But they put out the best shit nevertheless. And yeah, I think that because of that, their games are going to become sought after. And that's a good thing and a bad thing too. Because I myself, I wanted to get more Timewalk games, and now really the only way I'm going to be able to find them is to scour eBay each and every single day. That's even if I even feel like doing that. There'll be other people doing the same. Bidding wars over something that sold, well, a game that Timewalk sold for $80 now will be like $160, and that's bullshit. And it's just depressing. All I can say is I hope that another one of these sites steps up to the plate and really takes after what Timewalk did. And if they did get a cease and desist, then this company not make those same mistakes if someone does step up to the plate and start doing boxed reproductions. But for now, I think it's really too early to call. This could be something that's really damaging to the homebrew market in general. I mean, I could argue that they popularized the whole reproduction scene. And if they weren't, then they certainly contributed to it. And to see them go is quite sad. And again, it just irritates me. Because I actually went to their site tonight, and that's how I found out. I was going to go and buy a copy of an NES game called Coco Run. And it's a game I've wanted for quite some time from them, but I've either not had the money, or I was out of job for about a month, and all those times that it just makes me wish that all those times that I would have had money, instead of going out and buying like literally an Xbox game or Wii U game, I wish I literally would have just bought another NES or Super Nintendo game from them, because it's just over now. There's no going back. And based on what they said on their site, it really doesn't sound like there's any confidence of them ever coming back. And yeah. So what I plan on doing throughout probably the next week, hopefully maybe get a start on it, maybe day after I post this video, is going through a couple of these games and doing let's plays of them, starting with Mario Adventure, and then just going through hopefully all of them and showing you what I like, what I may not like. But really, all in all, these were great games. And I do want to stress that Timewalk was a publisher of these games. They didn't make these games. Either someone came and pitched their hack to them, or they got a hold of a translation for a game from Japan and put it out there. But yeah, it's sad to see him go. So yeah, thank you for watching the video, everyone, if you got this far. Please comment on what you think about all of this. If you're even into reproduction gaming, what you think about the whole thing. And game on. A like, favorite, subscribe, do whatever you wish. Super North out.